Students at an encampment at New York's Columbia University are digging in as they face a deadline to dismantle their camp today.
Free, free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine!
The pro-Palestinian protests at Columbia University have spread across the country with dozens of arrests. A central demand from the protesters is for the universities to divest themselves from Israeli-linked companies profiting from the war in Gaza. The University of Southern California has canceled its commencement next month over the protests. Joining me now is Ezra Dayanim, a student at Columbia University. Ezra, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
What is the situation like for yourself on the campus?
It's volatile. It's scary. There's a general feeling of insecurity. And what I think is really shocking is that I, as a Jewish student, have to decide if I'm going to wear my Star of David necklace and my kippah every time I walk on campus. It's been a really, really tough couple of weeks for Jewish students around campus, especially with the influx of non-student entities surrounding campus and onto campus. There's just a general feeling that there is a lack of restraint and a lack of ramifications for people's actions.
Has this happened over the last couple of weeks, or is this something that has been building?
The encampment itself and the sudden influx of protesters since last Wednesday or Tuesday. But there's been tensions on campus since October 7th. I think that's undeniable. We've had protests all since then. We've had general spurts of activity. There have been periods of inactivity, but in general, it's remained a tense situation since then.
And the university, the response from it, do you think it's handled it well, or is it's something that could have been handled differently?
I think the university has sort of lost the handle on the situation. I'm not an administrator, so I can't speak as to what the right answer is. But in general, it seems that there is a lack of accountability for people's actions. They can't figure out how to prevent non-students from entering campus. And this is the 9th, 10th day of the encampment. So to my eyes, and I think to the general observer, it seems that the university has sort of lost the handle on the situation.
Now, are you on campus still, or have you taken a break from it?
I've taken a break for the Passover holiday. I'll be going back on May 1st. And then graduation is 12 days later.
And what are you going to, or how are you going to react, or how are you going to do things when you go back to the university after your break?
Yeah. Listen, I have as much right to be there as anybody else does, as the protesters do. Certainly more of a right to be there than the non-students do. And so I'll approach it as if I belong there. And, we have finals coming up. So just putting my head down and trying to get through finals. I think that's what most students are trying to do at the moment. And I do anticipate that commencement might be disrupted, that there will be protests, disruptions, etc. But I know that, we have a right to be there, and we need to show that we have a right to be there. So I'm looking forward to getting back and establishing myself.
What are your thoughts on the idea, like some of this, I believe Columbia went into hybrid learning as well to try and keep people off the campus?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that they had to resort to such measures. I don't intend on taking my finals virtually. I intend on going in person. But of course, I understand if students feel unsafe or feel as if they cannot attend classes in person. It's not easy to walk through campus through such a hostile, volatile environment to go to class. It's distracting. And I know a lot of students whose grades have slipped because of everything that's going on. And it's a really tough situation, and there's no easy answer.
Is it time to stop the encampments?
I'm not an administrator. I can't speak to that. I certainly think it's time to de-escalate tensions. So however that looks, I think it's certainly time to close campus to non-students. It's past time for that. I know the university has taken measures to do so. They've been ineffective thus far. So the question remains, how do you effectively block campus to non-student protesters? There should be a space for everyone to demonstrate and express their opinions peacefully. Unfortunately, we have seen that recently that's just not possible.
Have you talked to any of the demonstrators, or have they approached you? Have you had any conversations?
Yeah, not recently. I do have acquaintances, peers that I know who do demonstrate, and we have had very civil and respectful conversations. It is possible with individual students. The issue remains is that when the umbrella groups refuse to engage in dialogue because it falls under normalization, which many groups choose not to engage in. But I do have people that I consider acquaintances and peers, people that I'm friendly with, who I have had very respectful and civil conversations with. And I really appreciate those moments. They're inspirational, they're endearing, and they provide a light through this dark situation.
Okay, Ezra, thank you very much for joining us. Good luck with your exams, and hopefully your commencement goes off as planned. We appreciate you joining us.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Ezra Dayanim is a student at Columbia University.